Let's start our practice by first sitting into Sukhasana, starting with a neck movement. First, with inhalation, just try to take your neck up and try to look up. And as you exhale, slowly just take your chin down to the notch and look down. Whenever you breathe in, up. Whenever you breathe out, down. If you have any tension towards the neck, then it's better not to take your neck completely back or completely down. Just try to keep a half movement while you're taking the neck up and down. Once you're done with the up and down movement, let us go with the half rotation for the neck. Let the chin be down only and just try to slide your chin from the right shoulder to the left shoulder. Whenever you're taking the neck to the sides, try to keep your chin parallel to the ground and try to keep your gaze to the side wall properly. With a normal breath, once you're done with down, then you can do the same thing reverse while taking the chin up. And just try to take your ear this time close from right shoulder to left shoulder with a normal breath again. Just keep moving for another 5 times, and once you're done with 5 times, you can slowly come back to the center. Very slowly raise your both the hands up to the shoulder level from the front, palms facing forward. Cover your left palm with your right palm on top. Just try to pull your hand a little bit. The moment you pull your palm back, you will start to feel that stretch working on to your left forearm, and you will feel that contraction on the wrist joint. After spending 5 breaths there, you can very slowly change the hand and do the same thing. It will allow you to give a good stretch to your forearm and the wrist both. And after spending 5 breaths, you can slowly release the hand. Once you're done with it, you can slowly just take your hands forward, cover your thumbs with your fingers, and start with the wrist rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And from there, palms facing up to the ceiling. Very slowly bring your fingers to the shoulders. Inhale, stretch your arms forward. Closer, stretch. Making sure you're maintaining your elbows to your shoulder level, and keep moving with exhalation, closer, inhalation, stretch. Once you're done with 5 times, you can slowly keep your fingers on the shoulders and open your elbows to the sides. Take your elbows down and then forward. Try to join them. Bring them up close to the ears and then complete the circle for your shoulder rotation. Just do it for about 5 times clockwise and 5 times anti-clockwise. Keep moving with a normal breath and try to give a complete movement to your shoulder joint. Try to always join your elbows whenever you're taking them forward. Once you're done with 5 times forward, you can go with 5 times backwards or reverse. And once you're done with that, you will slowly just relax your arms. Now from there, very slowly stretch your legs out on the mat. Keep your feet together, palms next to your hips. Relax your shoulders, keep your back straight. And from here, let us start with a ankle stretch. Just point your toes out completely and then flex your ankle completely. In your toes out and your toes in, pointing up, out, in, pointing up. Whenever you do that, you feel that stretch coming from the ankle joint and calf muscles. Once you're done with the ankle stretch for about 5 times, then you will slowly rotate the ankle joint completely clockwise and anti-clockwise. For about 5 times on both the sides will be good enough. It will give you a good stretch on the ankle and your calf muscles too. Making sure you're not bending your knees while you're rotating the ankle and keeping your heels properly on the ground. Just make sure you're trying to stretch your legs as much as possible from the ankle till the toes, and stop once you're done. Now let us start with our Surya Namaskar cycle from here. We'll start from Pranayamasana. Raise the arms up. As you exhale, you bend forward completely down. From there, you take your right leg back, keeping the right knee down, right toe out. And then as you exhale, take your left leg back, coming into a mountain position. Keep your knees down, chest down, chin down on the ground into Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, slowly come into Bhujangasana. As you exhale, turn the toes in, go back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, take your left leg in, keep your right knee down, look forward, chest up. Exhale, take your right leg in, forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up, start to raise your arms up from the front and straight back. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Second half, breathe in, raise the arms up and arch. Exhale, bend forward completely down. Inhale, take your left leg back now, keep your left knee down on the ground, left toe out. Exhale, take your right leg back, mountain. Slowly keep your knees down, chest down, chin down on the ground. Inhale, come into Bhujangasana. Exhale, slowly go back into Parvatasana, mountain pose. Inhale, take your right leg in, left knee down, left toe out. As you exhale, left leg in, come into your forward bend. Inhale, start to raise your arms up from the front, come all the way up. As you exhale, hands to the heart center. Now let us start with our postures for the day. So our first posture will be Utkatasana. For that, from a standing position, just bend your knees, touch the ground, take the pelvis back and then raise your arms up. Making sure your hands are in line with your head. Your pelvis is nicely back. Your knees are not supposed to cross your toes, and try to feel that engagement nicely coming from the lower body as well as from the upper body. Just try to feel that engagement and just try to spend 5 deep breaths. You can even spend more breaths if you want, but let's try with 5 deep breaths first. And once you're done with that, you can slowly go into a forward bend. And after that, take your legs back for the next position, coming into Santulan Asana, which is your plank position or palm plank position. Making sure here your shoulders are exactly over the wrist, you're on your toes, the tip of your toes. Try to squeeze in your buttocks, keeping your back flat, your neck in line with the rest of the spine and knees straight. With the full engagement here, we will try to spend 10 deep breaths, making sure your fingers are spread and the palms are firm on the ground. Just deep and long breaths. You can also go for normal breath in this position, that's fine. Once you're done, you can slowly come back and sit into Balasana just for a moment. You can again spend 5 deep breaths into Balasana, child's pose. Just relax your arms and shoulders for once. And once you're done with 5 breaths, you can slowly come into a mountain position or downward facing dog once again. And from there, we will keep our forearms down one by one for the next position, which is a dolphin pose. Now here you make sure that your knees are still straight, your forearms are down. Your crown of the head is not supposed to touch the ground, making sure it is still off the floor. And try to push your heels down as much as possible. If it is off the floor also, that is completely fine, not a problem. Just try to maintain the position and make sure that you're trying to keep the knees straight. Again, try to spend 5 to 10 deep breaths here into this dolphin position. Whenever you're done, you can drop your knees and once again sit back into Balasana just for a quick break. Once you're done with that also, let us slowly once again come into a downward facing dog. And after that, very slowly step your right leg in between your both the palms. Keep your left heel down, your left toe is pointing towards the left wall straight. And keep your right palm next to your right feet properly on the mat. You can even use a block if you're not able to keep your palm down. Then raise the left hand over the head straight and try to look to your left hand fingers. If you have any tension to your neck, avoid looking to your fingers and you can look down straight to the wall, or you can look down to the mat depending on your neck comfort. Make sure your right knee is properly bent and the left leg is properly straight, so you create that angle into Utthita Parshvakottanasana here. And once that is done, you change the side. Take the left leg in between your both the palms, and after that keep your right heel down sideways. You can turn your right toe to the right wall, and once again the exact same way, left palm is next to your left feet. Your right hand is straight over the head, and try to look either to the wall, to your fingers, or to the ground, whatever suits you better. Again, after spending a few deep breaths here, you can very slowly just take the hand up first, and after that you can slowly keep the palm down and come out of the position. Just stay there for 5 counts in downward facing dog, and once you're done, you can slowly take your right leg in between your both the palms and take your left heel down sideways. Just raise your arms up from the front, making sure your right knee is properly bent and your left knee is straight. Here you're trying to push the outer edge of your left foot down, which is right now back, and try to keep your elbows as straight as possible. While you're looking forward in the position, try to bend the right knee properly, but make sure because of that your left foot is not coming up. Once you're done, on the right side, you can slowly change the side and then take your left leg in between your both palms, keep your right heel down sideways. Once again, just raise your hands up from the front, join the palms above your head, and try to keep your elbow as straight as possible. Trying to keep your left knee properly bent and keeping your right knee straight. Trying to keep your gaze forward, spending few breaths here. And once you're done, slowly keep your palms down, take your leg back into a downward dog. Walk your step forward and very slowly just take your hip down after coming into a squat. Just slowly adjust yourself onto the center of your mat, and from here let us go for a boat pose, Navasana. Just try to lean back a little bit, keeping your hands straight. Try to very slowly lift your feet off the floor and try to make the knees straight and point the toes out into Navasana. Now, if making the legs straight is very hard for you here, then try to keep your knees bent and make sure that your back is straight first. Try to look towards your legs. And after spending 5 deep breaths, you can slowly keep your feet down. You can slowly stretch your legs out and adjust yourself. Lie down on your mat. Hug your knees for once, and then start to roll on your spine to relax your back and the legs a little bit. Just roll for a few times, maybe 5 to 10 times. It will help you to release any kind of tension which you may feel towards the spine or the hip. Once that is done, keep your feet down properly and try to keep your heels close to your hips. Then with inhalation, very slowly, just lift your hip off the floor as high as possible, coming into a bridge pose. Trying to keep your elbows straight. If you want, you can interlock your fingers under your back, just like how I'm doing it right now. Otherwise, you can keep your hands apart also, that's completely fine. Try to keep your feet together with your knees together if possible. If not comfortable, then you can keep your feet slightly apart. Try to lift your hip nicely as much as possible, making sure your chin is in and the back of your neck is flat on the mat. Once you're done, you can very slowly unlock your fingers, and after that, slowly drop your hip down. Once again, just hug your knees very quickly, and once that is done, you can slowly just stretch your right leg out on the mat. Keeping your left knee close to your chest, place your right palm on the left knee and left hand to the shoulder level. Very slowly press your left knee down on the right side and try to look to your left. Making sure your left shoulder is not coming off the floor when you're doing this, and try to press your knee on the other side as much as possible to feel a great twist from the spine. Once you're done with one side, you can go with the other side. Maybe fold the right leg now and very slowly, just the same way you stretch the hand to the other side, your right hand, and you can press your right knee on the left side. Trying to look to your right wall and just feeling the twist once again completely from the spine. Once you're done with few breaths, once again you can slowly untwist and then lie down into Shavasana.